Have you ever agreed to something you swore you would never do, only because it felt smaller than what was asked before? You didn't say yes because you wanted to. You said yes because saying no twice felt heavier than saying yes once. That moment is not weakness, it's structure. The door in the face technique doesn't begin with persuasion, it begins with relief. The first request is designed to fail. Too big, too demanding, too much. Your nervous system reacts instantly. Threat, loss, pressure. You refuse, and the body exhales. Then comes the second request. Smaller, reasonable, almost kind. Your mind doesn't compare it to your values, it compares it to the previous threat. That contrast does the work. Psychologically, this isn't logic, it's regulation. The nervous system is not asking, is this right? It's asking, is this safer than before? Humans are wired to seek equilibrium. When pressure spikes and then drops, the drop feels like generosity. The ego interprets relief as fairness, and so you comply, not because the second request is acceptable, but because the first one destabilized you. At a deeper level, this exploits a quiet fear, the fear of being unreasonable. We want to see ourselves as fair people, flexible, cooperative, not difficult. When someone retreats from an extreme position, your ego wants to reciprocate. It doesn't want to be the obstacle. This is not kindness. It's a transaction between self-images. The other person looks reasonable. You look open-minded. Balance is restored. But look closer. The original request was never real. It was a frame, a distortion field. The real request is the second one, and it arrives pre-approved because it enters a nervous system already softened. This is the part people avoid admitting. We don't say yes because we agree. We say yes because resistance feels socially expensive. Saying no costs identity points. It risks tension. It risks being seen as rigid. So the mind rationalizes. This isn't that bad. They compromised. I can handle this. Notice how quickly reasoning appears after the body decides. This is the dark core of the technique. It doesn't overpower you, it recruits you. You become the one explaining why the smaller request is acceptable. You become the one smoothing the edges. You become the one closing the deal internally. From the outside, it looks like consent. From the inside, it feels like pressure dissolving. This is why the door in the face works best on thoughtful people, people who reflect, people who try to be fair, people who don't want to dominate or be dominated. Their strength, empathy, self-awareness, social intelligence becomes the entry point. At a philosophical level, this technique exposes something uncomfortable. Much of human agreement is not built on conviction, but on contrast. We don't choose based on absolute values. We choose based on what we just escaped. The mind rarely asks, what do I want? It asks, what feels better than before? And here is the part that stings. The most dangerous versions of this dynamic don't happen in negotiations. They happen in relationships, at work, in families, in expectations that slowly shrink your sense of choice. First comes the impossible demand, then comes the reasonable one, and soon you're living inside a compromise you never would have accepted in isolation. Not because someone forced you, but because your nervous system learned to settle for less tension. This isn't about blaming manipulators, it's about seeing the mechanism clearly. When you understand that relief is not the same as alignment, something changes. You stop evaluating requests based on contrast. You start noticing timing, pressure, framing, and most importantly, you pause long enough to ask a quieter question. Not, is this better than before, but would I say yes if this were the first thing asked? That pause is where autonomy lives. So sit with this. Think about the last time you agreed to something because it felt small after something big was removed. Were you choosing or were you decompressing? If this reflection unsettles you, stay with it. Share your thoughts, and follow the channel if you want to keep examining the invisible forces that shape your decisions long before you think you've made them.